Bulletcast for life.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Under the Radar. My name is Brandon Tanguma, and on today's episode, we're going to be going over everything from New Japan this past weekend, Wrestle Kingdom, New Year's Dash, all the match announcements that have come out for New Beginnings, and also we got some NXT year-end awards to go over, and the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic 2020. The bracket has been announced, but first, we're going to go over Wrestle Kingdom. Night 1 taking place on Saturday, January 4th, 2020 in the Tokyo Dome. Attendance 40,008. I believe this is definitely one of the biggest attendance for a Tokyo Dome show in recent memory, and we will go over both nights, but Night 2 had an attendance of 30,063. Not exactly sure why Night 2 got so much less than Night 1. Obviously, it's a Saturday, Sunday, I don't know, the cultural ramifications or whatever over in Japan, if maybe, Sunday they're not going to draw as well as on a Saturday, but they announced some shows for the upcoming year for New Japan. They did not announce another two-night Wrestle Kingdom event. It could have happened. Wrestle Kingdom, I think January 4th next year, 2021, will be on a Sunday, so they could have done January 3rd and January 4th if they wanted to. But I believe, this is a good one-time thing to do. As I look, no, January 4th next year is going to be on a Monday, so that probably is the reasoning why they're not doing another two-night show. So let's just jump into it. The opening match, the dark match, this was not on New Japan World, so I was unable to see it, was the Stardom Tag Team match. From what I heard inside the building, it was a little clunky early on. It got going at the end. The crowd was respectful. Nothing really too much to talk about it here. Then the opening match, still on the pre-show, we had the Young Lions facing off. We had, some of the Young Lions facing off. We had Utamura. I keep butchering this guy's name. I'm just going to call him Yota. Not Baby Yoda, with Hanma and Togi Makabe taking on Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, our boy Carl Fredericks, and Toa Henare. I picked Hanma and Makabe's team to win because they were kind of the only veterans in this match, so I thought, okay, give the veterans a win. There you go, but no. Toa Henare got the victory, so that shows that he's not a young lion, he is a younger wrestler. He wasn't in the black trunks, he had his own little gimmick. He is a Tongan wrestler, I believe, and I thought he was good. He came across well, has a good look, and he ended up pitting our boy Yota. So there you go, our boy Carl Fredericks, friend of the podcast, getting a win in his first ever Tokyo Dome match. So congratulations to Carl there. Then we got the other pre-show match. We got Kojima and Tenzan taking on Nakanishi and Nagata. Kojima pins Nakanishi after a lariat, and it was fine. 5 minutes 47 seconds. It was an okay match. The Young Lions match earlier on went 7 minutes and 36 seconds, so early matches, they're not going to be anything real special. Then, let's move on to the actual card. The first match, the first of two Jushin Thunder Liger retirement matches. On Team Liger, we had Liger, Tatsumi Fujinami, The Great Sasuke, and Tiger Mask taking on Taguchi, Takawa, Otani, and Naito Sano. And I thought this was going to be the match that Liger wins. A lot of the legends, who cares, give him a win, boom, happy ending. If you're going to look, you're going to pay close attention. Night 1 was not my best. Let's just say good thing the Bulletcast title was not on the line, because I don't think I would have walked away champion after Night 1. But Taguchi, yes, Taguchi ends up pinning Liger, and after, when it happened, it was like, of course, Taguchi's the only main everyday person on the roster in this match, so obviously Liger is going to want to put over Taguchi. They have a relationship, they're friends, from what I've heard, so Liger doing a job for his buddy on the way out. Doesn't make, it makes a whole bunch of sense. Don't really have anything against it. 8 minutes 52 seconds was in total. This match was definitely built more around the entrances. They had a on the Tron. They had the the highlights of, because all these wrestlers were kind of rivals and buddies of Liger, so they kind of would run the best of highlights while they were walking down to the ring, and then obviously Liger comes out last, gets the huge pop, and it was a whole lot of fun. You're not going to ask a lot from these 8 guys in the ring. I mean, when Taguchi is the most highly skilled, probably the youngest out of all of them, it's not going to be the best of signs. But the great Sasuke, I thought he was crazy like he always is, and he did some dives. And unfortunately, there's just so much stuff going on in the ring that the camera wasn't able to capture everything. Because I think like Sasuke did a dive, I think Sano did a dive, and like there were some points in the match where there was just like everybody was brawling at the same time, and they just somebody did a spot and we couldn't see it. We could hear it because somebody crashed up against the barricade, but uh, very well executed match, a whole lot of fun, and all the emotions were flowing. First off, I want to shout out the New Japan English announce team in general, but especially Chris Charlton. During these Jushin Liger matches and pretty much throughout the entire show, he's fantastic, and not only giving translations for when people are talking in the ring in Japanese, but also just giving us a great backstory. He's written 2 fantastic books on the history of Japanese wrestling, and when it comes to Jushin Liger, who I know who Jushin Liger is. I appreciate the history and everything he's done for the business. One of the greatest junior heavyweights of all time. I don't know a whole lot about the history of Japanese wrestling. So with uh, Chris Charlton out there, and he's able to really explain to us why all these men are in the match and everyone, and why they hold such a special place in Liger's heart, and why he picked them, and why they're great enemies and great friends and everything like that. Fantastic. So shout out to Chris Charlton for that. He always does a great job, especially on these Liger matches. So then we go to the other match, the second 8-man tag match. We get Lij, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Evil, and Sonata taking on Suzuki-gun, El Desperado, Taichi, Minoru Suzuki, and Zack Sabre Jr. And I was very, very angry that Suzuki-gun, came out, and they came out with Zack Sabre Jr. basically leading the group, and we did not get Minoru Suzuki's theme song. We did not get Kaze ni Nare on the Tokyo Dome. Everyone screaming, singing along, clapping. It would have been a whole lot of fun. I was so angry that didn't happen. Zack Sabre Jr. has another match the next night. Why do we have to play his music tonight? Well, we found out why they didn't play Kaze ni Nare on the first night, because maybe they played it on the second night, but we will get into that. So we get Zack Sabre Jr. tapping out Bushi via an armbar at 8 minutes 39 seconds. Not a whole lot to complain about here. I mean, 8 minutes 39 seconds. I would have been, wanting this match to be substituted for like another singles match. There's some other, Minoru Suzuki not having a singles match. I would have wanted Minoru Suzuki to have a match on here. My boy Ishii, I wish he had a singles match on the card as well, but so I think this match, as well as the next 8-man tag that we're going to talk about, we get Chaos taking on Bullet Club, Yoshihashi, Toriano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto taking on Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Bad Luck Fale, and Kenta. And Chaos gets the win after Goto hits a GTR on Takahashi at 8 minutes and 17 seconds. So 2 very similar matches in terms of length, 2 8-man tags, and both of them setting up a match on the next night. Zack Sabre Jr. facing Sonata, and Kenta facing Hiroki Goto. So I would have been okay, you have this match taking up, let's say, 20 minutes. I think you could have taken both these matches out, and you could have substituted for, a singles match, one long singles match, or even 2 shorter singles matches, because you have both of these, all 16 of these guys having to make their entrance, and that kind of takes up a little bit of time. But I'm fine with it. So the early portion of the card definitely, I would say, dragged maybe a little bit. I think with the Liger match being the opener, definitely gave a nice spark of energy, because when you have 3 back-to-back-to-back 8-man tags, they can get a little lumbersome sometimes, especially with New Japan, because you kind of understand what you're going to get. They're going to go out there, the heel's going to work over the baby faces, and then they're going to make the comeback, and in the end, Goto made the comeback and beat Yujiro Takahashi. Then now we got the more important of the matches. We get the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. The champs, the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tongaloa and Tama Tonga, defending against the 2019 World Tag League winners, Finn Juice, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson. I thought Juice Robinson was going to lose here because I thought he was going to win the U.S. title the next night, and I didn't think that they were going to preempt the champ, the double gold gimmick for Juice Robinson. You're not going to want to have one person be double champ before the big main event where someone's going to be double champ in the main event. So that's why I thought. I didn't think Juice was going to walk out double champ, but he gets the first win on night one because David Finlay ends up beating Tama Tonga, hitting an acid drop and getting the victory. The Guerrillas of Destiny remain without a win. I believe 0-6 or 0-7 at the Tokyo Dome. They seemingly are always the champions walking into there, so it seems as though, just it's like WrestleMania. You got to put the baby faces over, I guess. To be honest, I wasn't very familiar with Finn Juice going in, but I think they are a good, fun-loving babyface tag team. They come out with like the bright colors and the Tron, and they just are kind of all over the place, and they're a lot of fun. There's some people I know don't like Juice Robinson; he can be a little bit over the top, but I think they work well together. And them going on to be the champions, tag team champions, I think it works well, especially with the upcoming U.S. tour that New Japan has. I think Guerrillas of Destiny could have worked perfectly fine as well as champs, but I can see why they want to give David Finlay and Juice Robinson the championships. I thought this was actually probably a underrated match. I very enjoyed this. It went 13 minutes and 25 seconds. So there you go. Next up, we get the first IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. This was the Texas Death Match. You can only win by knockout or submission. Lance Archer, the champion, going up against Jon Moxley, going 14 minutes and 26 seconds, and Jon Moxley wins via the 10 count. Moxley gives Lance Archer a double arm DDT. They call it the Death Rider in New Japan. They call it the Paradigm Shift in AEW. But he gives it to Lance Archer through two tables on the outside, going from the apron to the floor with the tables. And Lance Archer came up very bloody on his arm. I don't exactly know what he hit, whether, a table kind of chunk came out and kind of scraped his arm, whether he kind of scraped it up against the metal with the legs of the table. I don't know. It looked nasty. Jon Moxley getting the victory. Overall, this was not as crazy of a death match as the Moxley Omega match was, or a typical death, Japanese death match that you might see. New Japan doesn't do a whole lot of these things. Yes, they might have a lot of brawling and some chair shots and some hardcore aspects to their matches, but I thought this was very well done, hard hitting, and the only real deathmatchy spot that they really had was sounds kind of stupid, but Lance Archer took out a plastic bag from his pocket, put the EBD claw on Moxley, and it was suffocating him, which is a very simple, effective spot. They did the whole 3-arm up and down gimmick. Jon Moxley kicks out at 2, makes a comeback, and then that's kind of when they go into the finish. They had some chairs, they had the garbage lid spots, so nothing, really spectacular. They didn't have thumbtacks, they didn't have light tubes, they didn't go all out like they did with Moxley and Omega, which I enjoyed. I really enjoyed Jon Moxley and Omega. I think they kind of went a little overboard. I think this match was good for what it was. It was kind of, in the middle of the card, so it wasn't there to steal the show. It's something different, and that's why I enjoyed it. Then we get the big matches on the show. The 6th match, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Will Ospreay, going to defend against the returning Hiromu Takahashi. This match goes 24 minutes, 33 seconds, and your new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion is Hiromu Takahashi, and this match was just absolutely insane. I loved every bit of it. Will Ospreay, he is so good. I keep singing his praises all year. I'm going to continue to sing his praises. He's the best wrestler on the planet, especially in New Japan. I think he's so good at being the underdog, selling babyface when he needs to be, but he can also be the cocky, arrogant heel, and he's just full of himself and just toying with Hiromu in this match. And obviously, Takahashi is going to be the babyface in here. He's returning after like 18 months off after suffering a broken neck. Will Ospreay is fantastic. I know you guys have probably seen the spot on Twitter where he does the dive on the outside. Hiromu ducks. He lands on his feet. Hiromu suplexes him into the ring. Will Ospreay goes to the ropes, lands on his feet, goes back out, hits another dive onto Takahashi. Just absolutely insane. Will Ospreay's tagline now, his gimmick, is that he's on another level. And I cannot argue with him because he is on another level. He's absolutely amazing. Takahashi gets the victory here, being the new champion. Pretty simple, self explanatory. I mean, this was kind of the only match that I predicted right on night one. But I love this. I thought this was my second favorite match of the night, maybe my second favorite match of the entire weekend. I know a lot of people were in love with this match and might say that it was the best match, but I do think the main event was the best match of the weekend. But overall, fantastic stuff. Definitely recommend you guys to go and check that match out. Then we get the first of two title matches for the Double Dash for Gold, the IWGP Intercontinental Championship match. Jay White, the champion, challenging or defending against the challenger Tetsuya Naito, and this match goes 33 minutes 54 seconds, and Tetsuya Naito wins the Intercontinental Championship with a Destino at 33 minutes 54 seconds. Another fantastic match. I thought it dragged a little bit in the beginning with these New Japan matches, the main events. You know they're going to go long, so they're kind of stalling for time. But I think this match was fantastic. Jay White is, I think, by far the best heel in the world. I think he is so good at getting real, legitimate heel heat, but then when it comes to the in-ring aspect, he can deliver. He can have those fantastic matches. Yes, I know people will say Baron Corbin. He's not that great of a wrestler. MJF, we haven't exactly seen him in those, main event, great all-time classic matches. Jay White's been there, done that. He gets great heel heat. I think he is fantastic. And I picked Tetsuya Naito to win. I felt as though this one was probably the easier out of the two matches to predict, just because Tetsuya Naito was the person who wanted this to happen going back to the beginning of last year. And if you have Jay White in the main event of night 2, it does kind of foreshadow who's going to win, because you're not going to have Jay White, not only a heel, but a gaijin and everything like that. You're not going to have him be the first ever person to hold double gold. So you would kind of imagine that the person who's going up against him was going to win, so that might take a little bit of the drama out of the match. So that's why I picked Tetsuya Naito. He ends up getting the win. I agree with it. I enjoyed this match. I loved it a lot. I thought it was a tad slow. I think you could have shaved off, 5 minutes off of it, and I think it would have been great, especially since the main event went so long. So that's why I kind of would put it number 3 out of the main event, the junior heavyweight match, and this one. So nothing. I mean, it's still a fantastic match. I think if I'm going to rate it, 4.5 stars. Just really good stuff. I mean, when you're talking about these great New Japan matches, you're really splitting hairs. I mean, I would say the junior heavyweight match 4 3/4, and then the main event, I would give it 5 stars. And in the main event, IWGP Heavyweight Championship match, the champion Kazuchika Okada taking on the challenger and the G1 Climax 29 winner Kota Ibushi. I picked Kota Ibushi to win. I picked him to win the whole goddamn thing, to walk out double champ. And of course he loses night 1. Kazuchika Okada beats Ibushi at 39 minutes 16 seconds via a Rainmaker. Another absolutely insane match. I said it, 5 stars. This was my favorite match of the weekend. Just Okada is a god. He is so great. Yes, I know I picked Will Ospreay to be the Wrestler of the Year. Maybe Okada should have been Wrestler of the Decade. I don't know. But he's making a strong claim for Wrestler of the Decade for the 2020s already. Another fantastic match. The man is only 32. So he's probably going to wrestle another 10 years. Yes, he might not be the champion and he's going to be the god of New Japan in 2029. But Okada's going to be here for a long time. And it was, now looking back on it, it does make sense for why you have Okada win this match. He is the god. He's the boss of New Japan. And him not being in that main event, like, come on. Like, he's Okada. Of course he's going to be in the main event. And the Okada wins not only this match, but he also wins the award for the best entrance and the best outfit of the night, of the weekend. He comes out and they were shooting it from kind of far away, so it wasn't exactly clear what it was. It was a backdrop, and they were projections on the screen. And then Okada comes out, and I thought it was like maybe a hologram or it was just straight up projection of Okada. But Okada comes out. There's rain coming down. Okada has an umbrella. He stops the rain. Some gods or some whatever, some beasts come out, and Okada slays the beasts, and then everything stops. The backdrop drops, and then Okada's right there. So it was the real Okada the entire time. He comes out, he has the glow in the dark, whatever, beautiful jacket and skirt or whatever he calls it. So it's on the internet, it's on the Twitter. It's all over the place. So definitely go and check out what Okada was wearing. It changes colors based on the flash and everything. So fantastic stuff. Night one, I would give this show overall a 9. I think all the matches that really counted with the championships on the line delivered. The only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because those tag team matches early on, I think they kind of dragged a little bit, kind of, they didn't need to be there, but get everybody on the card, fill some time. There you go. Then, next up, we got night 2. As I said, on Sunday, January 5th, 2020, attendance 30,063. The opening match, the pre show match, was a never open weight 6-man tag team championship. And the winners and new champions are LIJ members Ibushi, Shingo Takagi, and Evil. To be honest, I did not watch this match. It says the match time is 6 minutes and 8 seconds, so that shows you just how fast this moved along. Apparently, there was a botch in the match, or something happened to where one of the young lion referees, I believe he has refereed many, many times here in the Bay Area. There was a spot where Ishii kicked out, or he didn't kick out. I don't exactly know, but shout out to the young lion referee there. Then let's move on to the opening match of the card. Jushin Thunder Liger's second retirement match, Liger teaming up with Naoki Sano, going up against Ryu Lee, the former Dragon Lee, and the new junior heavyweight champion Hiromu Takahashi. And in the end, Hiromu hits the time bomb on Jushin Thunder Liger at 12 minutes and 16 seconds. And this match, I think, was probably a better match than the first night. More athletic wrestlers with Dragon Lee and Hiromu Takahashi in there. And, it was a whole lot of fun. Jushin Liger, the cliche that he still got it. It's still, he's an old man. He's in his 50s, but, he can still move. And, the mask and the bodysuit probably helps with his look and kind of keeps up the aura of Jushin Liger, but I definitely thought that this match was a whole lot of fun. And then in the end, Hiromu gets the win, which is pretty much what you expect. Hiromu is the future of the junior heavyweight division, and he kind of talked to Liger after the match, and he was kind of screaming and saying that he will carry his legacy on and he will not let him down. And it was a good little moment until the New Japan World servers decided to shit itself, and the entire thing went down, and nobody was able to watch the show. So once Liger retired, New Japan World was like, fuck this, we're done, we're not showing anymore. And yeah, so I was unable to watch I was logged out for like a good half hour, and I was committed. I wasn't going to go to bed. I wasn't going to come back and watch it later because I already kind of was preparing myself. It was only like 11 o'clock, so this show started a little earlier. The first night started about midnight, so I was ready, raring to go, and I'm logging in, logging out, trying to do everything I can. And I pretty much missed the second match, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. The champs, El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori, taking on Roppongi 3K, Sho, and Yo. And I was able finally to get logged back in, but I wasn't able to watch the English feed. Well, I could watch the English feed, but the camera work or the frame rate was a little sloppy, a little choppy, so I just ended up watching the rest of the show on the Japanese feed. So if I missed some of the little nuances and the stories in the matches, I'm sorry, but I have nothing against the Japanese commentary watching it, because back in the day when I started watching New Japan, not every single show wasn't English, so some of the lower shows I watched in Japanese, and it really didn't bother me. I love the enthusiasm the Japanese commentary comes across, and it's almost kind of like sitting in the crowd because you're just watching the match without having commentary. And when it comes to like WWE shows, I've really kind of learned to just tune out the commentary at times, so I'm kind of used to it. And so Show and Yo gets the victory at 14 minutes and 8 seconds. I watched a little bit of the end. I've watched a little bit going back. Show and Yo wearing some gold and silver cups to block the sneaky shenanigans of the Bullet Club. Seemed as though it was a good high energy match. Wish I would have seen it, but New Japan World had other ideas. So then, we go to the British Heavyweight Championship match. The champion, Zack Sabre Jr., taking on the challenger, Sonata. And at 12 minutes and 32 seconds, we get Zack Sabre Jr. with the win. And they played on the spot to where Sonata beat Zack Sabre Jr. the first time, where Zack Sabre Jr. tried to do his roll through, but then Sonata rolled through and did a roll through of his own. This time they added another one where Zack Sabre Jr. countered that roll through and did another one, hitting the bridge and got the victory. So it was a good technical match, maybe a little slow for some people, maybe a little bit boring, but I enjoy this kind of style. I enjoy what Zack Sabre Jr. does, and I think Sonata can go tit for tat with him. And it was a good match, and maybe one of the more underrated matches on the night. But it was a little shorter. It didn't need to be a long epic match. It's the third match on the card. Go 12 minutes. It's fine. I had no complaints about it there. Then we got the second IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match. The champion, the newly crowned champion, Jon Moxley, takes on Juice Robinson, and Jon Moxley retains at 12 minutes and 48 seconds, as I kind of talked about. With Juice winning the tag team titles, it kind of foreshadowed that he wasn't going to win the U.S. Heavyweight Championship just because you're not going to want to have someone be double champ when someone else is going to be double champ later on in the night, so it just kind of knocks that prestige down a wee bit. So Jon Moxley is the winner, and he is continuing to be the U.S. champion, which means he's going to further continue his agreement with New Japan. I'm happy to see that, and I was like, okay, Jon Moxley's the champ. Let's see what they do. Is he going to tour with the U.S.? Is he just going to be in Japan? We will have to see. But before we can exactly see what's going to happen next with Jon Moxley, a music hits, and the crowd starts murmuring, and they start going crazy because Kaze ni Nare was played at the Tokyo Dome this weekend, and because Jon Moxley was sitting there in the middle of the ring, he called out Minoru Suzuki a few months ago, or whatever, and Minoru Suzuki comes to the ring. He has his tracksuit on, but then he slowly takes off his jacket, takes off his pants, revealing that he has his trunks. He's ready to go. He's ready to fight. And then they go into the ring and they brawl a little bit, and Minoru Suzuki hits a Gotch style pile driver on Moxley, leaving lame, cuts a little promo, basically calling him a boy, saying that you say you're bad, but I'm the baddest, or whatever he said, and setting up a Jon Moxley Minoru Suzuki match, and I am just absolutely thrilled that this is going to happen. One of the matches I wanted to see when Jon Moxley signed with New Japan. I wanted the Ishii match. They gave us Ishii. Minoru Suzuki wasn't in the G1. I was mad. I wanted to see Minoru face Jon Moxley, face Okada, face whoever, whatever block he was in. I wanted to see Minoru Suzuki have some fantastic matches. They're finally giving it to us. We're going to get Jon Moxley and Minoru Suzuki. We're going to get into the match announcements for New Beginning a little bit later, but we also have some new shenanigans that have happened between Jon Moxley and Minoru Suzuki. So then we get the Never Openweight Championship match. The champion Kenta taking on Hiroki Goto, going 16 minutes and 12 seconds. Goto becomes the new Never Openweight champion with hitting a GTR. And I predicted maybe that Goto was going to win because of some Shibata shenanigans. That did not happen. Just a straightforward, hard-hitting, really athletic. I think Goto has kind of rehabilitated his character and had a nice comeback recently. And I thought this was maybe one of the most underrated matches of the show, of the night, of the weekend. Really, really enjoyed this match here. So now, where does Hiroki Goto go from here? Where does Kenta go from here? We have to stay tuned and find out. So then we get the consolation match, the Kota Ibushi taking on Jay White, and I picked Kota Ibushi to win the whole damn thing, so of course he goes 0-2 and loses to Jay White at 24 minutes and 58 seconds. Now, Where do both of these men go from here? Now, Jay White winning, it does make sense. Kota Ibushi, you can tell the story similar to Naito, where he, tried his best, but they just came up short. Where is he going to go from here? I kind of forgot to talk about this, but there was a spot in the Okada match where Ibushi kind of with dead eyes, and he just was no selling everything Okada was throwing at him, and then Ibushi just was wailing on Okada, just kicking him while he's down, hitting him with closed fists, and the crowd started to boo Ibushi. Now that's something we haven't really seen in Okada matches before, where usually Okada it's kind of the other way around. Okada is kind of that cocky, arrogant, kind of no selling, and just kind of toying with his opponent. This time it was Ibushi doing that. So possibly little signs at a heel turn, maybe, it's something that Ibushi can go back to. And he did this same exact spot with Jay White, but it's Jay White. He's not going to get booed when Ibushi is just, giving Jay White hell. But just kind of something to keep in the back of your mind. Maybe they have something for Ibushi. Maybe he changes his character, changes his look up a little bit, and maybe we see a heel Kota Ibushi down the line. Who knows? But really enjoyed this match. Then we have another special singles match. Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Chris Jericho. If Tanahashi wins, he gets an AEW title shot later on down the line. And I picked Tanahashi just because I wanted to see whatever was going to happen afterwards. So if Tanahashi wins, I wanted to see Tanahashi in AEW, or maybe we see the AEW Championship defended on New Japan. Who knows? But it's not going to happen. Chris Jericho wins at 22 minutes 24 seconds with the Walls of Jericho. And this match was so good. This match was better than it needed to be, than anybody thought it was going to be. I thought this match was absolutely fantastic. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. Chris Jericho and Tanahashi, just two absolute legends, two pros. They know what they're doing. Yes, Chris Jericho has a dad bod. He's getting a little fat. I would suggest that he were to lose, 10, 15, 20 pounds. He doesn't look all that great. If you're going to have your champion look like that, I don't think it's the best look in the world. But Chris Jericho is so entertaining, and we've seen it. He can still get it done in the ring. Was it this match based off of, two characters and them, using the best tricks in the book? Yeah, but who cares? This match was a whole lot of fun. And in the end, Chris Jericho taps out Hiroshi Tanahashi. Great, great, great match. I don't think it was as good as Jericho's match against Kenny Omega, but that was just, a first time ever thing. We haven't seen Chris Jericho in New Japan in forever. He's leaving WWE, so there's a lot of other different things in there that I think made Chris Jericho's match against Kenny Omega a little better. But this match, I think, was a surprise of the weekend. I thought this match, I thought this match was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. And then in the press conference afterwards, Chris Jericho talked a little bit about the forbidden portal, the forbidden door between AEW and New Japan, and he kind of said that he wants New Japan and AEW to work together, put aside all the emotions, all the politics and everything, and just get it worked out, because both companies could benefit greatly from this. And I agree wholeheartedly. I think that AEW and New Japan probably should work together. I mean, New Japan, I wouldn't say they've, faltered here in the North American market, but the hottest that they were was probably 2018 when you had the Elite at the full height of their power. You had ROH clicking on all cylinders. You had everything going with them. And I just think that AEW and New Japan should work something on. Not saying that they need to, have the Bucks and Kenny Omega and everybody, work every single major show on New Japan, or vice versa. But just be cordial and have some sort of working agreement set in stone. Now let's move on to the main event, the Double Dash for Gold. Both the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship is on the line. The Heavyweight Champ Kazuchika Okada taking on the Intercontinental Champion Tetsuya Naito. They go 35 minutes, 37 seconds, and your winner and first ever double champ, the champ is Tetsuya Naito. And I love this match. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, all the superlatives you want to say. Great. Once again, they kind of started slow a little bit. Okada working over the knee of Naito. That was something that Jay White did on night one, so kind of playing into that on night two. And they go back and forth. The Destino was apparently, from what I've been told, was a move that was specifically invented to counter the Rainmaker, and the Destino Rainmaker combinations, the back and forth, they are just so beautiful. They work so well together. They flow so nicely, and the Rainmaker Destino back and forth, and Okada spamming Rainmakers, and then of course Naito ducks one, hits a Destino, and there we go. Tetsuya Naito even had a Stardust pressed, for God's sakes, going back in time to his super clean cut babyface days where he was, kind of the Kota Ibushi of his time. Breaks out a Stardust press. Okada kicks out. It was just absolutely insane. It was fantastic stuff. And, I mean, it's not too much to say here. I mean, Naito was the person who invented this idea. It comes to fruition. He is able to avenge his loss from Wrestle Kingdom 2 years ago, when I thought that was the time to go with Naito to win. He was so over. He was so hot. Maybe he's cooled off a little bit, but a long-term story in plan. Don't know. I mean, I don't know if they had this plan in mind for, have Naito lose, and then, we're going to go back to it in 2 years, but very much enjoyed this match. I would probably say Okada Ibushi's number one. I'd say Osprey Hiromu number two, and then Okada Naito number three. And I think everything else is just kind of, you can muddy it up and pick whatever one you want. So Naito gets on the mic, he gets a promo, he talks about it. Stuff. Okada getting let out by the Young Lions, and Naito says, similar to what Okada said to Naito 2 years ago, Naito said, let's do this again. Okada throws up the LIJ fist. Great moment. Naito talks a little bit more, and then he's going to do the roll call. And of course, it's never happened before. Usually, Wrestle Kingdom, the crowd goes home happy. We get spark, we get confetti, we get the streamers everywhere. But no, Kenta comes out and attacks Naito, and he hits him with the GTS, sits Shibata style on his chest with both of the titles. Just a dastard little mother effer that Kenta is, ruining Tetsuya Naito's moment after 2 years. 2 years of all this, even more. Naito finally gets his moment, and Kenta ruins it. So, just the balls of Gedo to book that after everything that's happened with Naito, just to have him be undercut once again. Just fantastic. I mean, I really want to see Naito get his hands on Kenta now, so, I mean, it worked. So then we're going to quickly go through the New Year's Dash show the night after Wrestle Kingdom. It sets up a lot of stuff. We actually saw a lot of New Year's Dash stuff on Wrestle Kingdom with Minoru Suzuki coming out and facing off against Jon Moxley, Kenta taking out Naito. So a lot of New Year's Dash stuff happened kind of on Wrestle Kingdom, but there was still some angles to be had. We kicked off with the Jushin Thunder Liger retirement ceremony. Great, fantastic, Tanahashi just absolutely losing it. He's bawling his eyes out. And we get Tanahashi also leading the crowd in a karaoke segment where everyone's singing Jushin Liger's theme. We get Chaos. We get the New Japan wrestlers come out. Just the baby faces. We didn't get LIJ or Bullet Club or anything like that. And there's some poses. We get Liger's wife and son comes in the ring. We actually got a video from Antonio Inoki, so that was fun to see as well. Just overall, it was fantastic, emotions and everything of that sort. Shout out to Jushin Thunder Liger. Hopefully he has a great life after wrestling. And we get into the matches. We get the Young Lions match up with Unimura and Tsuji and Toa Henare taking on Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, and our boy Carl Fredericks. And Carl Fredericks gets the victory of beating Unimura with a half Boston Crab at 10 minutes 40 seconds. So shout out Carl Fredericks. Definitely, I think there are going to be some big things in the future for Carl Fredericks. And I'm not just saying that because, he's given us an interview or two. But definitely, the proof is in the pudding. He's the Young Lions Cup winner. He's winning the first match on New Year's Dash. And whatever Toa, whatever his name is, he was the guy who won on night one, or on Wrestle Kingdom. So you would think, oh, he's going to get another win here, but no. Carl Fredericks, who's on the other team, gets the win. So shout out to Carl. Then we get a junior tag team four-way. We get Sho and Yo, the champs, taking on non-title. We get El Desperado and Kanemaru, Bushi and Takahashi, and El Fantasma and Taiji Ishimori. El Desperado and Kanemaru get the victory here, so that's setting up a match for them later on down the line. Then we get a 8-man tag: Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson taking on Chase Owens, Bad Luck Fale, Tongaloa, and Tama Tonga. And Kota Ibushi hits the Kamigoye on Chase Owens. So finally, out of this weekend, Kota Ibushi finally gets a win, pinning Chase Owens. And at the end, some interesting shenanigans happening where Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi kind of get together. And Tanahashi said, "There's two of us. There's two of you, David Finlay and Juice Robinson. You guys are the tag team champions. So maybe we're going to get Ibushi and Tanahashi be a tag team going on in the springtime, and maybe they'll face off against Finjuice for the championships. That will be a lot of fun to see what Ibushi and Tanahashi can do as a tag team." So then we get another tag team match. We get Ishii and Goto taking on Shingo Takagi and Evil. Shingo hitting the last of the dragon on Goto. So that is setting up a match between Takagi and Goto for the Never Openweight Championship. And then we get another 8-man tag team match. We get Robbie Eagles, Will Ospreay, Yoshihashi, and Kazuchika Okada taking out Taichi, Lance Archer, Zack Sabre Jr., and Minoru Suzuki, and Taichi gets disqualified. But the main topic coming out of this match was that we thought Jon Moxley, they did this angle at Wrestle Kingdom because Jon Moxley's leaving. He's not going to be on New Year's Dash. But think again. Minoru Suzuki is still in the ring. He's beaten up. He's just beating everybody up because that's what Minoru Suzuki does. And guess what happens? Jon Moxley comes walking through the crowd, makes a save, beats up Minoru Suzuki a little bit, and there you go. So, Jon Moxley given a receipt to Minoru Suzuki. And then in the main event, we have Sanada and Tetsuya Naito defeating Jay White and Kenta. Now, you would think that Sanada and Naito, they'd stand tall, they get the win, they're going to cut a promo, we're going to finally get the celebration that we wanted with LIJ, the roll call, and all that other good fun stuff. But no, Jay White and Kenta, the dirty diddlers that they are, they beat up Sanada and Naito, they beat him down, they cut a promo. Jay White cuts a promo first, then Kenta cuts another promo. So, setting up a Jay White Sanada match and a Kenta Tetsuya Naito match. So then, now, New Japan has announced the lineups for the New Beginning shows in Sapporo and Osaka. The New Beginning show in Sapporo, night 1, February 1st, we get the Never Openweight Championship, Hiroki Goto defending against Shingo Takagi. We get Tomohiro Ishii taking on Evil, and we got some other tag team matches. Night 2 is going to be main evented by Kazuchika Okada and Taichi, because Taichi got disqualified for beating up on Okada. Then we get the British Heavyweight Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Will Ospreay. Oh my god, that match should be absolutely insane. Don't know why that match isn't main eventing the night, but it's Okada, so that's why. Then we get the New Beginning in Osaka, the big show, taking place on February 9th. IWGP Heavyweight Champion and Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as Tetsuya Naito defends against Kenta. The IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, Jon Moxley defending against Minoru Suzuki. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Hiromu Takahashi defending against Ryu Lee. So hopefully Ryu Lee does not break Hiromu's neck again. We get Sanada and Jay White, and we get some other tag team matches along the way. So when those matches take place in the beginning of February, I will be sure to cover it and talk about it. But I mean, Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki, gonna be fantastic. I mean, all these matches are great, but definitely that February 9th show is the one to look out for. That is the packed, stacked card. But all these all these cards, they're going to have the tag team matches early on, and they're going to have some other stuff, but all the top 2 matches for all these shows definitely are going to deliver, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, finally, we're going to quickly run through last week's New Year's Day NXT on USA. This was a kind of best of NXT 2019 awards show ceremony. We once again were hosted by Kathy Kelly, Sam Roberts, and my boy Pat McAfee representing the brand. We got some pre-recorded matches on. They did a countdown for the best matches of the year. So we start off in the control center, whatever you want to call it, and they announced the number 3 match pick of the year was the 4-way tag team ladder match from Takeover 25. Well, the Street Profits won, good for them. And so now we're going to go through the awards quickly. Tag Team of the Year winners were the Undisputed Era. No real shock there. That's who I picked. They were champions for a majority of the year. They were, all over the place, so no real shot there. Then the Male Competitor of the Year, Adam Cole, baby. Once again, not really a shock as well. After all these wins, everyone kind of cut a little bit of a promo. Nothing really too spectacular, so that's why this show wasn't really a whole lot to talk about. The Female Competitor of the Year, Shayna Baszler. Once again, I picked her. The Rivalry of the Year, we get Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. Once again, was the match that I picked, so just putting it out there. Then we get a match, or the Future Star of the Year. And one that I did not get right was Dakota Kai. Now, I mean, Dakota Kai has kind of been here for a long time. It's kind of hard to. I don't. There's Future Star and then Breakout Star. So I don't know exactly what differentiates the two. I mean, I assume Future Star would be like, someone who hasn't really got an opportunity. And I mean, I understand like what the exact difference is, but I just don't think that I would put Dakota Kai in the Future Star category. I think I would put her in the Breakout Star category, just because she's kind of been there, I think, long enough to not be considered a quote Future Star. But I mean, it is what it is. So then Dakota cuts a little promo. Boom. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is going to return in 2020, and they have announced the teams, and they've also announced the brackets. So it's only going to be an 8-team tournament, which I'm a little disappointed in. And all of these teams, well, at least all these names, are pretty well established teams. So I kind of wish that, especially with the way that the tag team division is in NXT, that they were going to kind of bring in some new names, some new talent to kind of bolster the tag team division. But that's not what's going to happen for now, at least. But we get Imperium taking on the Forgotten Sons. I would assume the Imperium's going to win that one. Give a little bit of representation for NXT UK. I think it's for NXT UK. Yes, 4 NXT UK teams and 4 NXT teams. Then we get the hodgepodge team of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne taking on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. I think I'll go with Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne on this one. Nothing really, no real reason, just because I think they're going to want to have them. They always, on the Dusty Rhodes tag team, they always kind of have that one team that's just 2 singles guys they put together. And I mean, we've seen Samoa Joe and Finn Balor win. We've seen Ricochet and Aleister Black win. So maybe Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne will win. And moving to the other side of the bracket, Grizzled Young Vets taking on Kushida and a mystery partner. So who will Kushida's tag team partner be? We'll have to stay tuned to find out. Maybe Cameron Grimes. Maybe they find a love over top hats and they become tag team champions and Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners. Who knows? But I'll go with Kushida, and I think I don't know, because like I don't know if they want to like book it 50-50. I already have Imperium winning, so I don't know if they want to do a 2-2, 2 teams on each side from NXT and NXT UK winning. But I think you're going to get the pop of Kushida's tag team partner, and I think Grizzled Young Vets get the victory. Then we move on to the final matchup. We get Gallus taking on the Undisputed Era. I think Undisputed Era is going to get the victory here. Maybe some shenanigans and incurs where Undisputed Era gets knocked off early, but it's Undisputed Era. They're probably going to win. And if you're going to make me pick someone to win the whole gosh darn thing, you know what? Let's make it, let's give it to Imperium. Why not? Give it to a heel team, give it to a NXT UK team. Maybe Imperium's going to be more of a focus on regular NXT on USA, and that can give them a little boost going forward. The takeover of the year was War Games. They didn't talk about any of the other nominees. I thought that Takeover Toronto was a really good show. I thought Takeover New York was. I thought honestly Takeover War Games. I mean all these takeovers are really good shows, but I thought maybe it was kind of at the bottom of the nominees for this year. But anyways, the breakout star of the year was Keith Lee. No real surprise there. And then the match of the year was the match pick that I have made. Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, 2 out of 3 falls match from NXT TakeOver Toronto or NXT TakeOver New York. They showed the ending of the match, and there you go, almost in its entirety. So pretty much, 40 minutes of half hour of it. So the overall competitor of the year, I've already spoiled it. It is Adam Cole, baby. So Adam Cole bringing in all the gold. There's a photo of him on the Instagram. Him holding all the titles, all the whatever bells, awards, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, we're going to go over to the UTR mailbag at gmail.com. If there's any emails, any questions that people have, and you think you guys already know the answer to that would be a big fat no. But it's okay. We've gone long enough. We talked about Wrestle Kingdom. We've talked about NXT. It's been a fun time. We will be back tomorrow on Thursday for a regular Bullet Cast episode. I know we missed out last week. Philip was unfortunately sick, and we were unable to do the podcast. But we're going to come back bigger, better, stronger than ever. But remember, OGs know my nickname is still Mr. No Days Off. So I gotta hit you with this Wrestle Kingdom review. Thank y'all very much for tuning in today. Make sure to tune in to my other show that I do, Curveballs and Share Shots. If you want to hear my thoughts on last week's AEW on Raw and SmackDown, me and Dominic did a show on that, as well as talking about the NFL playoffs and NFL coaching openings and all that other good fun stuff. So until next time, my name is Brandon Tanguma. Goodbye and good night. Bye bye.